Okay, it's our Monday speed style. Deer in headlights.
So many.
Deer in headlights. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, I was gonna be overladen in all the things I finished. I'm just gonna have to layer up after. Hello.
She's wearing your sweater.
Welcome to Sun Dragon Sideshow. Oh, I almost said it's just Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. It's been a long morning already.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca. And
Ready?
Rebecca finished her sweater.
Ooh. Check out those raglan seams, people.
Love them.
Yay. Yes. So, hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, which is on the t-shirt that's underneath this, in downtown Brevard, North Carolina, where it is like a balmy 44 degrees.
It's cold.
Fahrenheit.
I wore my first papillon because
it's warmed up since I came in this morning. I think. Yeah, it's for us right now. It's cold. But I have a sweater to wear, so it's okay. And I'm really loving this. And so no, cute. It is not blocked, but I don't think it needs it. Anyway, later discussion if there's time, because we got going late for multiple reasons, and it's almost 9:30. And we may or may not have Vikings at 10, although maybe the Vikings are frozen. I didn't let you introduce yourself.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion at Brevard. Sun Dragon Art.
It's our Monday. Yeah. It's Monday, also known as Tuesday, but the beginning of our week. So, and I didn't get a nap yesterday. Usually that's part of my Monday routine, my day off, which is really not a day off anymore. No day is a day off for a small business owner anyway. But it's the day of the week that I'm not here in the shop. Let me quantify that a little.
It's the last day of the week that you're not in the shop because
yes, that's why I have to quantify this. Okay. In olden days, pre-pandemic, especially in the summer, which technically this is still summer until like later today or something. I don't know. Anyway, the shop would be open every day. On Sundays, it was only a half day, and Saturday was a really busy day. But, you know, Tuesday through Sunday, we were open, and Monday was the one day no one could come into shop. So day off, right? Still doing things at home. And you're always doing something business related. Small business owners can relate. Most people can relate. And then pandemic hit, and people in town on the weekends, ew. Even if we love you, and even if you don't have COVID, too many people in town on the weekends, it's not a good thing. So we tend to, like the phrase, we tend to avoid town like the plague has taken on new meaning. But we avoid town like the plague on the weekends because it's here. It's everywhere. So, long story long, because if anyone says long story short, my natural inclination is to say too late, and that's just rude. Long story long, Monday is my day off, even though, as Liz is mentioning, we take the whole weekend now. Sometimes there were events happening on the weekend from home on Zoom, like a couple weekends ago for Local Yarn Store Day. The next one is on October 24th, shameless plug, if you want to join us on a Saturday afternoon. But it's not like we're not working on the weekends. You know, we just are working on different things and not here, because being here, I don't know why I'm saying it like that, is hard because people think because if they see us here, then we're here to help them and do business with them, even if we're here to try to clean up the mess that is the shop.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting there because last Thursday, the last time we saw y'all, was an interesting day. Everyone's like, on Friday they went, were there Vikings on Thursday? No, the Vikings drowned.
Well,
or melted, or were afraid of the water.
They decided not to go out.
Yes. They did not. They're like, our boats can't handle
3.5 inches of rain that we got.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it was raining, and our policy now is to help people outside. And we had our tent up, but it was wet. You know, actually, the few people who came, we helped them just fine under the tent, and they stayed dry. But even if it was not a good business day for sales, it was an important day for us in the shop. Because, I mean, even though it looks no different behind you, probably, from what you can tell, and that hole is still there. I can't, there, yeah, that hole is still there because we didn't touch it. We did so much work over there and over here and right around the door, moving furniture and putting away yarn.
For the first time, like in olden days, we used to rearrange at least a wall of cubbies like once a month, if not more frequently.
We'd like pick a weight section and just do it, you know.
Completely rearranged. People would walk in and go, where, oh, you moved it. Or, oh, and we haven't rearranged anything. We played around with the wall, but we haven't really rearranged any of the cubbies or anything since March.
Because you can't do that and help people outside or help people inside. That multitasking is not something that functions well during a pandemic. So we were so tired when we went home that day. I was like, I felt as achy like after a workout.
You clocked what, 2 miles of walking?
3
miles
over
of
3
walking. Yeah.
9,000 steps. And I think I mentioned that to my family this weekend and they went, huh. But for me, that's
for us, that's it.
I used to do crazy workouts and so, but for me, for right now in my life, that's phenomenal.
For those that have been in the shop, the Encore wall expanded. There's
more cubbies. We scavenged cubbies from like the sale bins and the needle felting area. So we actually, because someone has been ordering more Encore colors. So now there's place for it. Yeah. I had to do that for Liz, you know.
I was like, order what you want. Just get me more cubbies.
I was going to get stuff from IKEA. I was totally ready, but I'm not going to IKEA. I'm not even going beyond the post office right now. So there's no way in heck I'm going to IKEA.
And IKEA's my crack. I'm not going to IKEA. Like, IKEA's like in the same level as yarn to me. Like, it's like, let's drive over to Charlotte to go to IKEA and get napkins, because IKEA napkins.
For those of you who don't live locally, Charlotte's at least a 2-hour drive. Napkins.
Just to breathe IKEA air is great. But it's a pandemic, so nope.
I'm doing a thing. Hang on.
You're doing a thing?
I'm doing a thing. What are you working on, Liz?
All weekend, like I spun. Friday night I made Rolex and spun Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and by Monday I was like, I need something different. So I went to my box of papillons because, you know, I have to finish this one.
She has a box.
I have to finish this one sometime October.
And yet
early.
You're not knitting on it today.
And I did.
Did you leave that here this weekend?
No, I took it. I actually got 2 sections done.
Oh, that's good. I can't make progress on mine.
I worked on it, but I did go to my box of papillons and went, what do I want to work on? And I found this one.
Oh, it's dark and broody. It almost doesn't show up on camera from what we can see. But
so it's I'm on row or section 17 on both of these.
Awesome. What yarn is that?
This is Lorna's Laces Oxygen in
worsted weight,
which we have it in fingering. The thin stuff.
This is the thin stuff. She's doing the thick stuff. We do not have the thick stuff here in the shop.
No.
But we have other thick stuff. I can show that off in a minute.
Yeah. And it's so this papillon was done in worsted weight on 10.5 needles out of Ito, and
that's worsted weight.
This
10.5 as well.
No, these are 9. They feel so
Real
tiny.
small.
But I didn't have a lot of the oxygen. I had just barely enough.
She's trying to ration.
So
she's doing.
So like, because I'm trying to ration, all of my 5 and 6 rows are black. I don't know if you can. So like here, the pods,
She's done some flippy
Pokemon
floppies.
balls.
She's done some flippy floppies in a couple parts.
They're
It's
black.
really pretty.
Just to extend the life.
That is the cool thing. People look at the pattern and they're like, do I have to do what she did? And the pattern is written with changing colors at certain points, more to kind of show you where the bubbles are and where the different sections are, so you can keep track. I think it's a well-written pattern for that very reason, in that it's color-coded. And you can change colors in the order she did. The moth variation actually talks about changing colors. But what Liz is doing shows that you can have fun with it. You can change your contrast and your main color anytime you want.
It does get a little, like, you do
have to keep track.
I'm doing a couple of them in 2 colors that I switch out, that, like, here at the end of section 1 where the eyelets are. I know you
Stick
can't
your fingers
see that.
through. Stick your
I did a mosaic on a couple of them to where I could reverse the entire thing, like where my main color becomes my contrast color and my contrast color becomes the main color.
It's really close to her using math.
Really good. I don't know. I went, hey, will this work? And Rebecca went, probably. And I went, okay. And so, but on this one, I wanted it mostly red with the black veins, but I needed to extend my life. So,
that's it. Okay.
On
necessity is the mother of invention.
On the pods row, you do the whole row, and then you do your contrast color. In between, you do your contrast color in the main, but at the end of it, I did my contrast color in the black as well, just to put me back on track. So you get, if you look, the veins are thicker.
It looks really cool.
Right in there. So, yeah.
It looks very, very cool. I worked on like 6 million things this weekend. So where to even start? I finished this sucker. I went into Sunday, I think, with an objective of, it was up here. My sleeves were up here. And I'm like, I can do this because it's the Eco Merino, excuse me, which is on our, cold. My nose is going, what? Cold outside. This is like a chunky weight, basically. And this is the hip striped sweater, which the woman who wrote it, and I'm forgetting her name right now, and I'm going to butcher it anyway. She wrote it to actually like hold two lighter weight yarns together and marl them, change the colors as you go, so that like the background, the thicker stripes would go dark to light and the contrast would go light to dark. It's really cool, but I just wanted to show off these really, really gorgeous colors, which is a beautiful purple that's going to look really dark on camera. A little lighter than this. I always say think lighter and warmer than what you see on camera for the most part. And this color called olive oil, which tends to look like a mustard yellow no matter what I do in photographs. It's not quite. It's almost a grello. It looks like let me get a mustard or golden yellow we have in this yarn to compare.
It looks very similar to if you pour olive oil on a plate.
Yes.
Like the greener olive oil.
The luminescent.
Yeah.
So this is called Sunflower. And it was my favorite color of this until the olive oil arrived. So that gives you a sense of the different colors, right? Of what I used in this is the olive oil. I think it's a wonderful color combination. We have a really nice palette in this, a really nice rainbow palette, and any colors would go well together. But it was a neat pattern in that it was written to say like your like the bigger stripes should be so much in length, and the smaller ones should be two rows. And so you can kind of figure out your own balance from that. And then I had to do some editing of the pattern in that. Well, first of all, the reason I got this out is two hanks of this size is 200 grams of the purple and 1 hank of the olive oil. And I have this much left over. I'm not going to dig out the scale right now, but I probably have about at least half of this skein left.
You could do a like stripey minion or gnome hat to wear with it, and then you could be a ski bunny.
This just A, wants me to make a gnome hat like hers, and B, wants me to be a ski bunny for some reason. Is a ski bunny someone who has a matching hat
and sweater, like.
So I probably have close to 200 grams here left over, but that was the only way this would work. The length of the sweater is really determined by, I ran out of my first skein of purple. I didn't know how much yarn it was going to take for the sleeves. So I could go back and make this longer. But at this point, I have so many things I'm working on. And the length is pretty decent. You know, it could be a little longer, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
You know? And then the sleeves, I ended up, for the size bust I am, which the girls are bigger than a lot of the rest of me. The sweater wanted 18-inch sleeves before you do almost 3-inch cuffs. Oh, you found the scale. Awesome.
I knew where the scale was.
And I was, usually the bottom of your sweater may not be the same length as your sleeves. Sleeves tend to be longer. These are only slightly longer because I tried it on when I was getting close to where I was supposed to do the end of my decreases. I tried it on and said, I'm happy with this. I don't have long arms for the girth I have here right now. So, but that's one of the things I like about sweaters and knitting your own sweaters. Hang on. She's so ready. Is you can adjust. What'd you find?
That's 150 grams.
I only used 50 grams of this for my sleeves.
And those two balls together are 130 grams.
Okay, so there's a lot of leftover yarn, but this is only sold in one quantity. So this is about $30 a skein. So this is a $90 sweater right now, but I have stuff left over for a lot of other projects.
You could do a scarf. You could do.
I could do a lot of things. I could do something that's opposite, you know, thin stripes of this, thick stripes of that. Skein 1 of the purple took me to the whole yoke up to right here, and then the torso. And skein 2 did the sleeves, but I have a lot left over of this, only 50 grams of it, like from here to here, here to here. And the reason I knew I could finish this sucker is that I did it on size 10 needles, which for me flies. I will say the only thing I get, this is not commentary on the pattern, this is commentary on crew necks for most sweaters, is I'll start with this whole, look, it's all evenly distributed just like this, right? And then as I move around, it will rise like that. It won't balance with the shirt underneath, and this hits my neck. And I could probably do more short rows in the back. There were short rows to make the back higher. We've talked before on the show about how no matter what you have, like for most sweaters, some sweaters are even and they usually have a wider neck then, so it doesn't feel like it chokes you. Most sweaters have some way of making the back higher than the front. And that could mean if you're doing decreases up here, or if you're going bottom up, starting lower on the front than on the back. This done in the round had short rows, had only going back and forth for part of a row to make the more rows in the back than in the front, to bring this down a little bit. But anyway, raglan increases. Can you see where this kind of comes over and then goes up? Love that. Really big fan of that. So I'm loving this.
It's a fantastic sweater. Like,
it's so awesome.
I always lose the will to live on sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Because they take so much longer for my sweaters.
I lost a lot of will on Sunday afternoon, I will say, but I pushed through it. I really pushed through it because I was like, so this yarn, if you weren't going to do a striped sweater, if you were just going to do, if you're about my size, I want to say my bust, I usually do something in the 42-inch range-ish. I have to play some monkeying games with it because I'm not proportionally as big as the girls, but I don't want it to be tight across the girls. So, you know, I do some magic with that sometimes and some guessing. But if you're, excuse me, about my size, then I think it might only take 2 skeins of this if you weren't doing stripes. If you wanted to just do a raglan seam, chunky, like light chunky sweater, because of the math we just did with what's left over from my 3 balls. There's more than 200 grams sitting here on the table between this and these. So two of these, that's like a $60, $65 sweater. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So something to consider, food for thought. Or the $90 gets you the sweater, plus something else you get to make. Say a gnome hat. But I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is not blocked. I have not soaked it and spun it out or in the spin cycle of the washing machine or rolled it up in towels and laid it out. Because the stitch definition is actually really good. It fits me well. And there's nothing I feel like I need to resize or reproportion. So this is what we call block with wear. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
I still need to block my red sweater, but not because where I did it in stockinette, proper in the round stockinette, not purling back and forth. The purling back and forth, my stitch, you can tell the stitches size is different, and I'd like to see if I can adjust that. So it's just basically the top half of the sweater that I need to, block. But
look, I match. Maybe I like certain colors or something.
She finished another project.
This is something I just started last week too. This was almost a 24-hour count. I was going to start the whole episode like having 6 million things on, and it's Monday. I forgot. So I might just have to layer up as we go towards the end of the episode.
It's okay. I keep pulling my shawl up because.
Would you like one of my finished objects?
No. I have my own, but
I know. So this was Noro's slip stitch cowl. And I have blocked this. I almost got it done. I started it when did I start it?
Friday night.
No, I think I started it during knit night, Tuesday night. I went home Tuesday.
Friday night was a knit night, but I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, I started it Tuesday, and I almost, I had a migraine Wednesday, so I had to go cease to exist from the world for 2 hours instead of working on this. I almost finished it. Almost. I think Thursday's morning meditation might have been the top binding or something like, it was really close to being done. So, but then I said I should block it, to regulate. This was also something that didn't have to be blocked. I almost look like the girl on the little tear-off sheet. I don't even know where that. Oh, wait. Look. Let's see. I'm really close to looking like her, just in different colors. I'm a model.
Like, you don't have to block it, but the blocking flattened everything.
The blocking kind of evened out the slip stitches. I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah. And then, you can wear this down more. You can wear it up. I could fold it in if I wanted that stuff to show more and not have the ribbing show. There's lots of different ways I could wear this. Cowls keep your neck warm. Yay. I'm going to fiddle with this. We made kits for this. This took only one skein. I don't think the multicolor is out here, but one skein of a solid, and all the ones near me are solids. But if you wanted to do, she found my thing. Yeah. If you wanted to do 2 solids, this is the color combo I made. Because this yarn came in and I went, I really want to knit with this. So I did. Quick project. This one took longer, the sweater, because I stalled out on it. But then I got it done. Yay! I kind of, I went this weekend, if I'm really about to start at least one more sweater, I should finish one. So I've earned the right to do my Jupiter crop, is how I'm looking at it.
At one point there was, I don't know what I want to do, but I need to knit. And I'm like, just start a new project. And
that was this morning.
Had no yarn at home to start a new project.
That was this morning for my morning meditation, because I felt like anything I could pick up and knit on was something y'all had already seen, like a lot of. So I had taken this home.
Oh.
This is an oldie but a goodie. And it got stuck in with all these other projects, and to show someone how a yarn knits up, a very demanding customer who wanted to know how the skeins that are half solid and half something else knit up, I had to break the yarn. So I restarted it today. So the part between my fingers is what I've done today, both morning meditation, which has this, here, you can almost see the lace work because everything's dark, right? Morning meditation, and then I knit during my chamber meeting and got a few repeats of this done. This little lace work part here. This is called Close to You. I'll put the pattern writer and the Ravelry link in the comments. And it's one of those asymmetric shawls. It starts small down at the bottom, down where that yarn is waggling around, and increases as you go. And it's got a lacy border, but it's mostly garter.
And your stripes, because it started off kind of stripy.
Mm-hmm. See how the colors are changing?
Starting to get really thin.
The yarn, really here's it wound. It is a shop colorway, and different skeins have, like this one's got a lot of yellow in it. Mine doesn't, because it's hand dyed. This is Dragon's Lair, dyed by Twist Fiber Studio. I don't think we have it on our online shop yet. I can work on that. But this is the twist. Half of the twist is black and half of the twist is reds and yellows, and it really depends on the skein. The ones we have left have a lot more variety than the one I'm knitting with. This is all very orangey red. This one's got some yellow in it. It's kind of pretty. But it was to see how, when the length of your row grows, the amount of pooling or striping changes. And as I keep going, it might pool again. Like the pooling up here is different than over there because the rows are going to make it keep doing different things. And I have so many things to show y'all. I might only highlight a couple more right now and show you more on Thursday if we don't have any Dear Becky and Lizzy on Thursday. Because right now I don't think we have much for that. So if you have advice questions you have or that are pressing, I can't make full sentences. They're repetitive sentences right now because it's Monday. If you have advice questions you want answered, write Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712. I keep wanting to say the phone number.
Or email me at liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Mm-hmm. Two more things I want to show off today. And I feel it pulling, which means, yep, hang on. I pulled out some stitches, which I'll have to fix later. I had a knitter slash crocheter come in last week and say, hey, I saw this Purl Soho Tunisian crochet pattern. I want to try it. And I said, well, I haven't done Tunisian crochet in a very long time, but let's look at it. Hold my beer. I like a challenge. I don't actually drink beer much anymore, so whatever. So then I helped her with it. It was in a solid color. We picked out a gorgeous color of Dawson, which is a llama merino blend. Oh, so wonderful. And then I went, ooh, I wonder what that would look like
in variegated.
In a variegated. And I actually came into Liz during the lesson and went, I have to try this now. That's the whole reason I got going on
I did
Happy
something
Ones.
like roll my eyes and went, of course you do. But, you know.
So I wanted to show you all. It's called the Goblin Stitch. And Tunisian crochet tends to curl at the bottom. That will hopefully block out, or, whatever.
But tassels or fringe on it.
Yeah.
Hold it out.
Because look at that. Isn't that cool looking?
And in the variegated, it looks like you color block, kind of.
Right? It's got, by going between the stitches instead of in the middle of the stitches. Because here's the thing with Tunisian crochet. Got a hook like this. Long crochet hook. And instead of working one stitch at a time, because my mantra on crochet is you're done when there's one loop on the hook. You're done with 2 rows of this when there's 1 loop, because you go over and you pick up you pick up loops all the way across, and then you start going back through them 2 at a time. And when you go in between, instead of through the stitches, it can look like a knit stitch, that V, like a knit stitch. So it's like for crocheters who want things to look like they knit them, you can do Tunisian crochet. It's kind of a melding of crochet and knitting, because I think it goes faster, because look at what I did. I've already done all that. It's a pretty wide scarf, so we'll see how far I get. And 1 skein of Lorna's Laces worsted. So like what Liz is knitting with, but this is Frankenstein's Cotillion colorway. Oh, it's so pretty.
So yummy.
Here is where 1 skein got me. That one right there. 1 skein got me about, if we uncurl this, 18 inches. It's pretty wide. Like this is one of those like stylish wide scarves. So 2 skeins should get me about 3 feet. which isn't really a scarf yet. So we'll have to see.
But if you were doing a narrower scarf instead of
Mhm.
a great big long white, you could in 2 skeins.
Yeah, you don't have to do
and half.
This is 42 stitches across. Imagine if you only did like 20.
Yeah,
You'd have a thin one. I'm just following the pattern.
20
I have-
stitches would be perfect for a scarf, and two skeins.
I have to stay inside the box and do what the pattern tells me to show people what the pattern does.
I'm just saying.
We're not actually arguing here. But so the front is really cool. I love how that stitch looks. Brian actually made a Star Trek reference to Escape from Farpoint or something. It looks like the
ring Q put up.
Yeah, so they couldn't get out. Anyway, geeky reference. Just to note, the back does not look the same. The back looks more like kind of pearl bumpy rose, like that.
But it looks awesome.
But
too.
It's neat. It's really pretty. It's got a different texture. So now I want to Tunisian crochet more, and we have some super limited Tunisian crochet supplies in the shop. So I'll have to order more at some point if people want to make this too. This is a J hook. It's like the same girth as a US 10 needle, and I'm doing worsted weight, light worsted, so it's super squishy. Love it. I was supposed to do other things, and I did this last night. The last thing I'm gonna show off, because it's almost Viking time, and I'm sorry, Liz, if you wanted to talk.
I have nothing to show because I sat and spun and did a couple of rows on shawls that, have no look to progress. So
yeah, but she, oh my gosh, she did so much spinning, and now her yarn needs to sit and breathe. I'm learning. I'm learning about that.
I still have a pile of Rolex that are going to take me weeks to get through, but I'm working on it.
So I decided there was a crochet pattern called the Forester by Johanna Lindahl, who also did Lost in Time and Squared Lost in Time, which are favorites at our shop. And I put it in the newsletter last week and said, I'm gonna make that. And I've started. It is really neat in that it's got, look at that basket weave. Isn't that cool? I did it in one of my morning meditations, and I might have, in trying to explain what I was doing, say too much of the pattern, because I always tag the designers. By the way, I'm using Cascade Heritage Wave, so it's going to change colors as it goes. And I might have, without meaning to, outlined a little more of the pattern than I intended, because I thought it doesn't have the shaping. It doesn't have a lot of other stuff. I always tag the pattern writers because I want to give them credit, and I want them to know that I am highlighting their patterns or my work on them to help other people find them. But she said, hey, you wrote too much of the pattern. Can you take that down, please? Because it's a pay pattern. And it is. And it's a good pattern, so you should buy it. And I went, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't think I had written too much, but she's the pattern writer. So I respect that.
A beautifully simple shawl.
Front post and back post triple crochets. Don't let that scare you. It just means more loops to go through, but very doable. Really, really fun textured pattern. Like, I don't have to look at the pattern anymore at this point. I can kind of intuitively figure it out, but the pattern's there to help you with the repeats, and that's the whole point of it. And it's really pretty. And Liz mentioned before I went home for the weekend that I should make it out of Nightshade is the colorway. And it's got purples and blacks. And I was like, oh, what if I do it in this color that's all stained glassy looking? And that would be pretty too. And then you made an excellent point. For me personally, hearing the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg affected me. And when Chadwick Boseman passed, I did the Wakanda Forever. And Liz said, hey, this could be your morning shawl. Because Liz, one of the things I love about Liz is that she does, when someone dies, she will wear mourning attire, not MOR.
What do I wear in the afternoon? It has become a joke.
It's become a joke. And usually it's black or has mostly black going on for your outfits, but you've made morning shawls.
There's morning, which is all black, and then there's half morning. I follow Regency guidelines, which are a whole lot less strict than Victorian guidelines, and Anyway, but purples and grays are half mourning. So
dark purple. There's light purple in this too, but there's some really dark purple.
But
So
when you took the yarn home, I was like, nightshade, it'll be a great Halloween shawl,
yeah,
but it'll also double as a morning shawl.
And well, and since I don't follow the rules and I don't usually wear any morning clothes, half morning can be like all morning for me.
Yeah.
I'm making stuff up. I don't know. But no, this could be my tribute. I've done a tribute for Chadwick Boseman. I can do one for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Because I was saying to my family this weekend, like, I'd forgotten that she was nominated to the court in the 90s, and that's when I was in high school. Like, the first time I became aware of civics in general, she was on the court. So she's been on the court the whole time that I've been, not that I've been alive, I've been alive a lot longer than that, but that I was aware that there was a Supreme Court. So, you know, it's pretty momentous. And I just also realized my parting shot, we'll come back to this if I can or want or whatever.
She blocked something
I blocked
else.
it. I blocked stuff this weekend. It was weird. I'm not usually this productive. This is my,
oh my gosh.
This is my wildflower shawl blocked.
Blocking does.
I wasn't gonna, and I'm like, it's okay. It's bigger, right?
Yeah, and the
the wingspan is not
like,
yeah. The wingspan is. I think I was holding it all the way out last week too. But yeah, it's longer now, and the stitch definition, the little feather, what I call crochet feather and fan. I really like how that came out, and it might fade over time. I did some quasi aggressive blocking.
The points. The points are always going to kind of.
I think this
not points.
This might be my cover photo,
but it is absolutely. I like it.
I'm holding it there so I can get a good snapshot. And look, it matches. Everything matches. So
today is your purple and yellow phase.
Mm-hmm. Ta-da! And I have to do this so we can see my stripies. And it's after 10, so we should technically answer that. So we love you all and we miss you. Please subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff.
We're at 409 subscribers.
Ooh,
thank you.
Ooh, keep going. Let's get to 500. Share with someone so they subscribe. All right. We love y'all. Bye-bye.